To make sure that your interactive experience looks great on all devices, you can also adjust breakpoints and visibility for columns. In this example, I want to make a section that contains a paragraph and an image, with a lot of y-axis padding on a desktop, but with lesser on mobile to avoid unnecessary scrolling. First, I'll drag in a row with 2 columns. One column I'll use for setting a minimum height on larger screens, and the second column I'll use to store my content. Now, to make this look nice and centered, we'll make sure that the height column has a minimum height of 500 pixels. Then we'll remove the width so we can center the primary content. And we want the content column to occupy the full width, so we can use the row to set a maximum width for the content. Now we'll just make sure to center the max width row by right-clicking the column, going into column style, and centering the alignment. We'll also make sure to center the alignment on the row containing the 2 columns for the height and the content. The next problem we'll tackle is going to be the breakpoints. First, we'll make sure that the columns used for height and content does not break at all. When columns reach a breakpoint, they'll break and take up the space they are allowed to, and we don't want that behavior for these 2 columns. Right-click the row, enter visibility, and disable responsive mode. Next, we'll set a bigger breakpoint for the row containing the content, so the paragraph and the image breaks earlier. Testing that, we might want to give the image and the text a maximum width so it doesn't take up too much space, and center this content as well. Lastly, the padding at the top and bottom of this section looks a bit too aggressive on smaller viewports. We want to hide the minimum height column below the breakpoint we defined earlier. To do that, right-click the column, go into visibility, and enable adaptive mode. Now we'll just say that this component should only be visible if the screen is bigger than 720 pixels. And disabling reveal all will show you that the minimum height column is now only visible when you go above that breakpoint. And to add padding to your components, you simply right-click a component, go into the styling section, and add some values in the spacing section. That's it. You now have a responsive section that looks amazing on any viewport.